this group stage, this right here is what I was the most excited to see, and we don't have to wait for it at all. Let's go.
Let's go, gang. This is probably one of the the two featured matches of the day. If I was to say, if I was to pick out two matchups that I'm excited for, this is one of them.
Yeah. Because this is not something you get to see every day.
No, not at all. OSW sends a heart, but DL does not reciprocate. Oh.
Yeah, so OSW misdrops to start this off. I think that the recency, or the thing you mentioned about OSW not misdropping as much recently is a recency bias. I think you haven't seen him play as much recently, and therefore you haven't seen him misdrop as much recently. But we're going to find out here.
I mean, they're doing some pretty cool stuff right now.
Oh, they stress me out. OSW stresses me out. All right, so DL messes up an ice
missing the STSD. It was a spin to fix it to make it STSD, but they missed the eye kick.
Missed it.
And OSW was one of the weirdest donations of all time.
Doing over there. So when I talk about inhuman setups, this is exactly what I was referring to. OSW's not going to be able to tank any of this. He's actually probably going to be in a decent spot after this zone because there is a lot of material to work with here.
This is absurdly efficient.
Yeah, this is actually a really good zone.
3 T-spins in a Tetris.
And finds the
63!
63. So Diao does have a half zone here, just does not even need it, sets up a C-spin instead. But...
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. And look at the stats. Yeah, I was expecting the 140s from OSW, and the attack is following in suit. That was beautiful.
Oh, we are so ready, everyone. Oh, this is good. This is already shaping up to be good.
I think this is one of the games where I need to get on my I need to sort of be standing up. So yeah, I need to go back to that. I'll be standing up now. This is sick.
Definitely a matchup worth standing for here. And you know, this phase 1, you can argue that it's a formality, but we did just watch a round end without phase 3. And so I would say that players like OSW and just top players in general, DL probably the same, really good at screen watching.
Yeah, and they can strike at any time. Like you said, phase 1 may not be a formality as we usually expect in the sort of middle to upper ladder area. This is the cream of the crop, and any mistake you make is going to be punished to hell and back. OSW showing that just before. DL with a 12 here, going into a 14, and OSW with a miraculous board state just needs a J piece to start off one of the best zones. Nope, they're just going to keep doing their thing until they're forced to zone.
I love that, because those are the zone chunks right there. That means OSW's at the end of the garbage queue and ready to pressure DL with the zone.
Oh, you're right, Lyra, and we'll see how this pans out here. They don't have a T-piece to make this happen, but they do have a 20, and it's a 63 again! A second time a 63, pushing DL to the top of the board!
I mean, that's what won that last round. Might as well do it again. You said 63 ulti was how I beat DL. All right, do you want another 63 ulti? Let's go. All right, so DL is setting up... Bro, DL blocking that well without any zone just made me physically cringe a little bit, but you know what? They're playing and not me, and you know, yeah. And so now we've gotten into this phase 3 garbage, and this is where things get interesting. This is where OSW probably has the edge in phase 3. I would say yes. OSW is the edge in phase 3.
I'd say so. I mean, look at that 8, look at that 7 combo. That was beautiful. DL going with a full zone here. OSW also sitting on the full zone, but because DL's zoned right now, they have time to prepare, and they have taken it with a lot of man-made material. 2 T-spins here, making that 3, making that 4. What?
Very nice efficiency in the zone. This is going to... Dude, greeting for another Tetris is insane there, OSW. You want another 63? Do you want another 63 attack? Because that's when you get another 63 attack. And you know what? It doesn't put anything onto DL's board. Yeah, that one's 19 instead of 20 this time. But this is going to come down to who is the better setup.
Oh! My God, I'm actually freaking out.
DL's on the ropes here. OSW is DL on the ropes right now and is trying to convert this.
And actually... doing some ST stacking.
ST stacking is nuts right here.
That's wild.
Don't know what we're going for in terms of that fix. Actually, that's such a good fix.
That's so good. And it resolves! And they're going into 7-2!
Right, and so this is exactly what you have to do to close out against DL. You need constant pressure, you need constant efficiency, constant T-spins, and that is what OSW is able to do. Very few players are able to put out the damage that's needed to slow down DL. You see DL starting certain setups and having to drop them because of the attack to zone or something else. Like if you can slow down and stutter Diao's attack, that means that you have them in a place where they don't want to be.
OSW didn't quite squeeze out everything they wanted to because the T piece was the literal last piece in the bag and actually forced them to take only a 43 in. Oh my god!
Oh, that stressed me out. I'm so.
No! Oh my god!
The fix is nuts, but I also. This is not. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is what the misdrops can do, and this is why you can't misdrop in this matchup.
A single
because look at
zone with a misdrop.
Do you see Diao's board right now?
Yeah. OSW was playing perfectly. That one zone where the T-piece came a little tiny bit later in the bag than they were expecting, forced him to break the zone early at a 43 and 12, which is still really efficient. That plus a misdrop immediately gave Diao the advantage to potentially take their first round of the set. What is going on?
It feels like these decisions and these like slip-ups are just so tiny, but against these players, this is what can happen. Okay, so OSW does have full zone here, does have time to do what he needs to if he wants to, but not going to use the full timer here. This is honestly a really good find out of that. That 44 attack is going to put Diao at the top. So Diao only had quarter zone there, didn't actually have any zone before that tank, so that tank was all Diao could do right there, and is going to have to zone again.
Row 20! A row 20 STSD!
Of course, what else would you do in this situation?
What? Down stack anything else but green like that, and it pays off!
And that's what these players are so good at doing. This is what the screen watching is about, is knowing exactly when you can and cannot greed.
Oh my god!
And that, knowing when you can and cannot greed, is what takes that second round for OSW.
Look at the stats, man. That was majestic.
Oh my god.
So much happened there back and forth. The 63 back-to-back zones from OSW, one of them being in 19 lines, by the way.
Yeah.
That's on track for a 70 ulti.
Yeah, no, insane.
Wow, and just the way that a single mistake, a single late piece combined with a misdrop was enough to completely swing the round another direction, only for OSW to pull off the most batshit insane plays. I'm swearing. Like the most batshit insane plays to pull that round back and still win against Diao. I am floored. And we're only at round 3.
And one of the interesting things that you will see from these players, I mean, I saw OSW doing it especially, is not breaking back-to-back in zone. It's not something that a lot of players think about, but it is so important for these players because it can mean like a few lines, and a few lines can mean so much. And so you'll see some sort of stacking in zones from these players that you won't ever think of yourself. And that's because they're going so hard for that back-to-back. It's so cool to see. OSW did a ton in that last round, but I just love noticing that.
I couldn't agree more, Lyra. Like, it's exactly what you want to see from pro play like this, and it's so satisfying to see a player pull off the most insane stuff that they can to maintain that back-to-back at all costs. That's a mid-well Kaiden. That's a center well Kaiden. I love it.
And you know what else is going on right now? Is phase 3 is about to happen on OSW side. Look at that.
Phase 3.
There we go. There's that phase 3. OSW not even zoning into phase 3. Maybe choosing to tank here before the zone. Not tanking. That's a zone chunk right there. That means that OSW is zone chunk, at the end of the garbage queue from Diao. They were able to mitigate most of it.
They have 7 attack, I think, 6 or 7 attack at the top of the queue. So they've definitely cancelled it all. And yeah, there's garbage chunks now on Diao's board. They've got to cancel out their previous those garbage chunks.
Yeah, and yeah, that works. Okay, so basically what just happened right there is OSW, instead of zoning, tried to defend against Diao's zone. And so they could basically absorb most of the garbage, zone, and kill. And it worked.
It worked. It worked.
Honestly, no, like it worked really well. And that's what these top players are so good at doing. That's why we wanted to see this matchup, is because OSW has that game knowledge of when it is a good and bad time to do that.
Yeah, I think like realistically there wasn't anything much better that could have been done to secure that round. That was really well played. I do want to say that I saw Diao do 2 different eye tucks in the last like minute. It's quite fun.
Yeah, that's where the all-spin knowledge comes in, but it doesn't keep back-to-back here.
Do you notice that Diao's zoning first almost every time?
I think OSW in the past doesn't really zone first from what I've seen.
No, yeah, it's I've noticed that Diao's like pretty quick to zone. I wonder if OSW is taking advantage of that. It looks like it. I mean, every time they get to the zone, we can see they're at the garbage chunks. And another Centerwell Kaiden from OSW with a floating fin.
Ooh.
62
and 18.
Again, on track for a 63 and 19, aka a 70 and 20.
So Diao does have a really nice zone going here. Some very nice efficiency at the start here, and that is going to put a little bit onto OSW's side. OSW did push that over into phase 3, so Diao is going to be sending that messy garbage there.
Oh, OSW 3 wide did not go how they might have wanted. They instead bail on and just take as many lines as they can to at least get the bonus that they would get with a higher line zone. It's a fair play. It's not as efficient as you'd like, but it is definitely a good strategy.
Yeah, we do have Diao with the 9-0 stacking over the garbage here. Some misdrops that are definitely going to slow them down as OSW is just trying to layer on this damage here. Yeah, Diao with a misdrop on that Z piece at the top of the board. This isn't a good spot, and they do clear the incoming garbage queue, but not much to work with for the rest of their board.
No, and OSW had a bit of a spy there. They have managed to fill out the sides of, but Diao at the top of the board, OSW needs to send a Tetris as soon as possible. And you know what? That might secure it. There's okay, Diao. Pulling out a Prophecy T-spin single from the depths of hell. Beautiful.
Yeah, and
into
down stacking
3 combo.
That's a nice down stack. That's a very nice down stack.
You know what are they known for? What are they known for, right? The Diao stack. The one thing they're more known for than their 7-2 that I mentioned is the Diao stack.
Diao stack. Wow, this is some really great stacking through the garbage right here. But OSW has a clean board, almost entirely man-made stack, and there is going to be a zone there. I would expect this to be pretty efficient. We do have some back-to-back breakage early on, so might not be another 62 or 63, but we will see what this zone has in store for OSW. And that is going to be a 49. Yeah.
That's a lot of material.
So OSW is going to be slowed down a little bit by these misdrops here, but definitely is going to get things sorted out by the time Diao ends the zone.
Yeah, actually neutralizing everything there, Diao. But at the top of the board already, OSW with nothing but clean horizons. That's a sentence.
Yeah, for sure. And that's an Imperial Cross from OSW there.
Yeah. Ooh. My God.
There were a couple,
143.
Yeah, wow.
2.5 pieces per second.
Very well played from OSW there. Another close sweep, if I do say so myself.
It's not often you get to say you swept Diao, right? Like, that was very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if there's players that can say it, though, it's OSW.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is that was still a really... I'm going to sit back down. That was still a really close match. Despite the sweep, every round was really close, and it took a lot of insane plays. I can't get over the row 20 STSD.